17-year-old Nikki Kuhnhausen was a transgender girl living in Washington. Her real name is Nicholas Kuhnhausen. Her parents divorced when Nikki was just a baby. From a very young age, his mother knew that Nikki was different from everyone else. He always confidently felt like a girl. Nikki's mother, Lisa Woods, said, "To me, she was always just Nikki. As a child, Nikki often wore women's wigs while playing. And once, when a girl broke her arm, she was given a pink cast. Around 6th grade, Nikki came out with her gender identity. Kuhnhausen had an idol, Nicki Minaj. It was for this reason that she chose the name Nikki and wanted to be like her idol. They often went for rides in the car with their mother. Nikki sat with her feet out the window and sang along to Minaj. She made short videos for TikTok using excerpts from her favorite singer's songs. The girl had big plans and dreams. She really wanted to work with her idol. Nikki's mom said she wanted to be Nicki Minaj's hair and makeup artist. This was her dream. Lisa Woods believed Nikki had a bright future as a stylist. The girl often applied makeup to the cheerleaders and gave them beautiful hairstyles. Nikki also gave the girls makeup lessons. But in high school, everything began to change. Nikki was often late for school, and her grades declined. The mother found out that her daughter began to abuse illegal substances. Lisa Woods said that she had many attempts to send Nikki to rehab. She wanted to help her daughter cope with severe addiction, but nothing worked out. In 2018, a police officer called Lisa at work and said that her daughter had been attacked. Nikki was shot 6 times. Lisa rushed to the hospital expecting the worst, but when the woman arrived, she saw Nikki sitting laughing with her friends and taking selfies. It was a miracle. All 6 bullets missed important organs. The incident occurred during an argument over illegal substances. The man who shot Nikki was never apprehended. The mother hoped that this incident would become an important lesson for her daughter and change her life for the better. On June 6, 2019, Nikki Kuhnhausen stopped contacting her mother. The girl seemed to have disappeared from Vancouver. Her mother immediately suspected something was wrong. They called each other every day. The daughter always answered her mother's calls and called her back. When Nikki disappeared, her mother took Nikki's sweatshirt and sewed it into a pillowcase. She slept on it and prayed that Nikki would get in touch. The mother admitted, "I knew something had happened. I felt something terrible had happened to my Nikki. I understood that she was kidnapped or something more terrible was done." Lisa Woods filed a missing person report for her daughter. Flyers with information about the missing teenager were posted throughout the city. Nikki was a transgender girl. According to their group activist Davis Williamson, when transgender people go missing, they are usually found dead. Police spoke with Nikki's roommates and learned that the last time they saw her was the day she disappeared. Nikki left to meet a man she had met only a few hours earlier. But who was this man? Clark County prosecutor Colin Hayes said Nikki's social media posts gave investigators their first clue about who she was dating that night. All her Snapchat messages were read. Police learned that the man met with Kuhnhausen around 5 a.m. It was 25-year-old David Bogdanov, who worked in a family construction company. That was the last time anyone saw Nikki alive. The young man did not contact investigators. He did not answer calls or messages and did not show up at home. David seemed to disappear, as did Nikki. Time passed, but there was no news. At the end of September, almost 4 months after Nikki disappeared, investigators finally heard from David Bogdanov. The man reported that he had problems with his phone. David claimed that he had only recently received messages from the police. The officers asked the guy to come in for questioning. The police are hoping that he can help the investigation. On October 2, 2019, David Bogdanov voluntarily met with Detective David Jensen at the Vancouver Police Department. The young man said that on the night of June 6, 2019, he was drinking with his brothers and noticed a young woman. Bogdanov claimed that he met Nikki at approximately 3 a.m. She was alone. The man said that he approached the girl and asked if she was okay. They started talking. David offered her his jacket because it was cold outside. Then he offered Nikki a drink, and she agreed. After talking a little, the young people exchanged their contacts on Snapchat. But it turned out that Nikki did not have her phone with her. David said that after this, they separated. A few hours later, Nikki sent him the address of her friends where she was. The man arrived at the specified address. He said that he would help find her phone, which was missing. David and Nikki were alone in the car. They parked on the side of the road and were just talking. During the conversation, Nikki admitted to David that she was transgender. Bogdanov was shocked to learn about this. He asked her to get out of the car immediately because it was disgusting for him. According to David, Nikki got out of the car and he drove away. Christmas was approaching. Lisa Woods was waiting for a wonderful gift. The woman hoped that her 17-year-old daughter Nikki would return home. The girl has been gone for 6 months. Lisa admitted, "I prayed and prayed for my child to get in touch. I prayed and wanted to hear Nikki's voice." On December 7, 2019, human remains were found on Larch Mountain in Clark County, Washington. Police and detectives arrived at the scene of the discovery. In addition to the human remains, which by that time had already been carried away by animals, items of clothing were discovered. A green jacket, underwear, bandana, decorations, a phone charger with artificial multicolored hair tangled in it. Detectives combed the area for about 2 weeks. By comparing the discovered items with personal photographs of Nikki Kuhnhausen, matches were found. Detectives were confident they had found Nikki. The assumptions were confirmed. It was Nikki Kuhnhausen. A forensic expert found that the girl was strangled with a mobile phone charger cord. On December 17, 2019, Detective David Jensen interviewed David Bogdanov again. He asked where David went after he kicked Nikki out of the car. The guy replied that he had left for work. The detective said cell tower records indicated that David's phone was located on Larch Mountain that day. Bogdanov fell silent. As it turned out later that day, the guy did not show up for work, but went in the opposite direction to the mountain. After questioning, Detective David Jensen told Lisa Woods that they had found Nikki. The woman fell to her knees and began screaming. She stated, "There are so many horror stories of unsolved crimes and missing transgender people around the world. I prayed and prayed for my Nikki to come home, and God heard me and helped me." This story thundered throughout the country. A task force called Justice for Nikki was created to protect sexual minorities. Lisa Woods and the Justice for Nikki Task Force began working to create their legislation. This law was supported by many. Nikki's law was passed in March 2020. It is designed to ensure that defendants accused of violent crimes do not use sexual orientation or gender identity as an excuse for violence. The group's activist, Lyndon Walls, said, "Even if these crimes continue to happen, at least the perpetrators can be brought to justice." In August 2021, at the trial, Bogdanov spoke in his own defense and sharply changed his testimony. He said that he initially thought that Nikki was an ordinary girl, and when he kissed and hugged her in the car, he realized that she was transgender. David pushed Nikki away and said she was disgusting. Nikki then attacked David. Bogdanov said that during the struggle, he wrapped the telephone cord around Nikki's arms and chest. At some point, David pulled the cord and it slipped and squeezed Nikki's neck. Kuhnhausen tried to escape, scratched her face, and then she suddenly stopped struggling. When David realized that Nikki was dead, he thought that he needed to call the police but did not dare to do so since there were illegal substances in his car and he was drunk. David pulled Nikki out of the car, carried her to a steep hill next to the road, and dumped her body there. A few hours after the incident, Bogdanov left the country. He bought a plane ticket and flew to his native Ukraine. The guy was very scared. His sister, Lilia Bogdanova, said that his brother would never have hurt Nikki because of who she was. Ultimately, the jury found David Bogdanov guilty and sentenced him to 19 years in prison. Nikki's mom, Lisa Woods, has undergone extensive treatment and therapy. The woman remembers only good moments about Nikki. Lisa Wood still watches videos on TikTok and is grateful to her daughter for the videos she published on her page. She's really sassy and confident. Just look at her videos. Justice for Nikki activist Lyndon Walls hopes Nikki's dreams will be fulfilled. We need to find a way to memorialize Nikki and give other transgender people the opportunity to achieve their dreams. According to one of the largest LGBT organizations in the United States, there were more violent deaths of transgender and non-binary people in 2021 than in any other year on record. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel.